Hey everyone, Adam McKenzie here from the CVO Experts, and today what we wanted to try and do was break down for you some key topics that maybe some of you aren't really familiar with, or you really don't understand what some of the terminology actually means for your business. Now, the two things we're looking at today are CRO versus CVO. Now, CRO is conversion rate optimization, right? And that tends to be for a lot of SEO companies that you probably work with, has to do a lot with your traffic, okay? Customer value optimization is CVO, which is something that as a company we specialize in, and I'm going to explain to you what the key differences are between the two and why we feel like CVO is going to provide you with so much more for your business with what you're generating online. So the first key topic here we're looking at is conversion versus value. Now with conversion rate optimization, what you tend to be focusing on a lot is using different sources of traffic. So it could be Facebook, it could be Google, it could be paid ads, banner ads, it could be a whole lot of different things driving traffic to your website or driving traffic to your video or whatever it might be. And what a lot of conversion experts will do is they'll focus on, okay, how do they get more people from that traffic to opt in or to do something or to buy something, okay? So you're really targeting and you're measuring those key conversion rates to see how you can get more people to do more things, online with whatever you've got set up, okay? What we like to focus on with customer value optimization is making sure that, okay, yes, getting traffic to your website is important, getting them to opt in is important, but what value are you getting from those leads once they are opting in or once they are buying? Because as you'll see in the next point here, it's only really half the story of getting people to your website and getting them to opt in or getting them to buy that very first time. And what you're getting them to buy as well is really dependent on how much value you're going to get back from each of those leads and the investment that you're putting into traffic, driving people to your website or to your office, right? When we have a look at the full story, okay, is one, yes, you want to make sure that you're optimizing your landing pages. So you're making sure that when people are going to your landing pages that they are doing what you want them to do. So they are opting in, or they are clicking on the button, or they are registering for your webinar, whatever it is that you've got set up. You want to be able to optimize that so that people are doing more of what you want, okay? But then once they start that process, then what? Okay, so let's say that a customer, in a nice simple scenario, a customer comes along and they buy from you, okay? And when they buy from you, maybe they buy an initial offer or your core product or service, and maybe that's a $100 product or service, okay? But once they've bought that from you, then what? Okay, what's the story? What's going to happen, down the journey? Or do you have another product or a one-click upsell in place to get them to purchase more? Or do you have a special offer to get them to come back and buy from you again? Okay, because when you don't have that, then really you're only focusing on the first part of the story, which we talked about, which was driving people to your page, getting them to opt in or getting them to register or getting them to buy. All right, what I want to do and what we focus on at the CVO Experts is making sure that if somebody's coming to your site, okay, or they're coming to your offer, once they do what you want them to do, that then you present them with other opportunities to either buy more, okay, or to buy a cross-related product. So they might be able to, yep, I'd love those kitchen knives, and when those kitchen knives, I'd love that pot and pan, okay, whatever it might be, but now you're able to cross-promote and mash these two products together. So suddenly, that one customer who's come to your site, who only used to buy your $100 core offer, okay, is now spending $200 with you. Okay, the traffic still cost you exactly the same amount. You still spent and invested exactly the same amount of time and energy in driving that person to your site, but now suddenly the amount of money that they're spending with you is double what they used to. So that person and that customer is worth even more value to you than they ever were before. So what it all means when we look at the big picture is the fact that now that you know, okay, that a customer can be worth twice as much to you. So before we knew that they were only worth $100 or you only had a $100 product to offer them, okay, or a $100 service for them to take up. Now suddenly you've got an upsell, or you've got crossing that you can promote. Now that customer's worth more money to you. So they might be worth $200 to you in the example I gave before. Once you know that, becomes very powerful, because the big picture of CVO, customer value optimization, and how you're going to be able to dominate your market or your niche that you're working in is if you know that your customers are worth a lot more with you, either through on that initial sale getting them to buy more often, or setting up systems to get your clients to buy more from you over time. So the lifetime value of that customer is so much greater. Once you know that information, okay, the big picture is the fact that you then have a lot of power in knowing that your acquisition cost can be more because you're going to make more off the back end. Now, if that didn't make sense, let's say, for example, that somebody can spend, let's use a $100 product, okay? Somebody spends $50 acquiring a lead, okay? And that lead comes in, they buy your $100 product, you just made $50, okay? So you can afford to spend $50 if you know you're going to make $50 every time. What if that person's worth $200 to you now, okay? Now you know that that person's going to be worth minimum of $200. Now you can afford to spend $100 to acquire that lead, and you know you're still going to make $100 in profit, okay, off the back end or over time, which means then that you can spend more money to acquire clients than your competition can. And guys, that's where the money is, okay? Because if you can afford to spend more to acquire a customer's business, you're going to win every single time. So when you're looking at conversion rate optimization, when you're talking to SEO companies, when you're deciding to spend money on traffic, what I really want you to do is make sure that you understand the entire process and all the different elements that you've got in place to make sure that you can optimize that customer value and get the greatest return from all the different traffic things and different marketing strategies that you're putting in place.